Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the DIY Wrap series. I'm excited for this one because it may just be the last episode of the series. I guess you'll have to wait till the end to find out, but before we get into it, it's time for Saab Spotlight episode 2. Some of you, or I should say most of you, probably recognize this car from Instagram or the Saab Central forums if you're old like me. It's no doubt one of the icons in the Saab scene, and it belongs to Dave. I can't wait to present his awesome cars, but first a little bit about Dave. Dave has been spitting wrenches since the age of 16, but he wasn't always a Saab guy. His first car was a Plymouth Neon with a manual transmission. This was the one that gave him the passion and love for cars. Then he bought an '87 Ford Thunderbird 5.0, which began his passion for tinkering with cars. He started off with simple fixes like radio mods and oil changes, but it wasn't long before the T-Bird was T-boned. Then he landed on a 2000 Nissan Maxima, and that's when he dove much deeper into working on cars. Then he moved on to a 2004 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP, where he pulled his first motor. It ended up heavily modified, but all this time, he was really missing a manual transmission. So his father pointed him to a dealer that only sells used manual vehicles, and they just so happened to be Saab's. So in 2010, Dave bought his first Saab, a 2001 9.5 base. Even with the smaller turbo, he loved it because something was just different, engaging, comfortable all at the same time, and that raw feeling hooked him instantly. He especially fell in love with the Swedish engineering that was simple yet purposeful. He also learned about the history and the heritage behind Saab and fell in love even more because they always found a place to add something unique to them. Speaking of unique, this is Dave's 2004 9.5 Aero, which he bought in 2012. It'll take days to go over every single mod, but I'll go over a few highlights. Starting off on the front end, the iconic 3-piece grills have the Hirsch look treatment, and next to those are the OEM xenon headlights with Evox-R retrofitted projectors with the old school Saab logo etched in, which is easily my favorite detail. The Turbo X front lip on the bottom adds just enough drama to the already handsome shark tooth bumper. The wheels are Kansai KNP 18x9 with a 35mm offset. And the icing on the cake are these custom-made LED accents in the taillights. Those are definitely one of a kind which Dave made for himself. Inside, you can immediately tell the car is loved. The custom leather steering wheel is well bolstered, and the contrast stitching on the wheel, shift boot, and the e-brake boot adds character. The dash is hydro-dipped in a crazy pattern, and I also love the little detail in the heated and cooled switches, having blue and orange LEDs which correlate to their function. For power, there are a lot of things done, but a few things worth noting are the TDO 420T turbo with the King Cobra pipe modified to fit a diverter valve. It has a ECU tune from Mike D, and it's paired with the spec Stage 3 clutch and Quaife LSD. As if this 9.5 wasn't cool enough, Dave has another 9.5 but in wagon form. This was a barn find which he literally found in a barn with no engine or transmission and had been sitting for 7 years. Dave's goal for this 9.5 is to be OEM plus. Again, this one has a very long list of mods, but some of my favorite ones are power folding mirrors, which to my knowledge was never an option in the US, 314mm brake calipers, the front lip, which I believe is from a Mustang Mach 1. Dave's dream Saab is the 1978 Saab 99 Turbo, which is one of the most iconic Saabs because it's the car that started the small displacement forced induction high horsepower technology trend which you see in basically every car these days. It was surely an innovative car way ahead of its time. Dave is an icon in his own right to the Saab scene, making unique mods and attempting things that have never been done before. Thanks Dave for sharing your stuff with us, and for those who are curious, check out the full list of mods in the description below. I also linked his Saab Central forum page where you can check out his entire journey in detail. Now let's get back to wrapping. On the last episode, I finished up much of the front end, including the blacked out A-pillars. In this episode, I hope to finish up the front bumper so I can put the front end back together. I fully removed the remaining 2K clear coat and wet sanded with 600 grit. The bumper may not look smooth, but it is smooth as a baby's butt. I have to admit, there are some hard to reach areas that are rough, but I'm okay with that because it's hard to see. As I was laying down the wrap, I could already tell this would be really difficult because of the way I set up the wrap station. I didn't have any better things to put the bumper on, so I was working on a very wobbly setup. If you're doing this, make sure you have something stable to put the bumper on, otherwise it's gonna be a pain in the I'm thinking this might have been easier with the bumper on the car so I can stretch the wrap. I wanted to remove it just to get everything covered. And then this here is also going to be a challenge, but I think I can do it. So far it's looking okay, and I will get back after I do a little bit more. I'm running into a little pickle here. So the way the front bumper is curved like this, there's a lot of material being stretched outside. That means all this material here inside is getting crunched up together. So if I flatten out this side, then there's like a lot of just leftover and excess wrap here. So I'm kind of struggling. I did run into this issue for the door handles over there, and the solution was to just stretch it, keep stretching. I've been trying for a while and I haven't been successful yet, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep trying and see what happens, and I'll report back. So I somehow managed to put this piece in, but now the problem is that if I follow this pattern here, it's gonna be short here. So it's gonna be like around this much that won't be covered. So this happens a lot during the process of stretching and heating. So I'm gonna again try to see if I can somehow stretch it further this way to see if I can cover it. But so far not looking great. And I somehow did it. I don't know how, I just kept stretching. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but on this fog light part here, I thought I would try to do some inlays, but I decided not to because I got some mixed suggestions online saying this kind of bumper can be done with or without inlays. And yeah, there's a lot of excess wrap right here. But the actual shape and contouring, I think I did okay. There's a spot here that's a bit lighter than the others, and I think that is a result of overstretching. But for this part, instead of making a cut here, I'm thinking of making a cut along the body line here, like that, because the rule of wrapping, if you need to cut, is always cut on the body line, not like a flat surface like this. So I think I'm gonna try that and see what we can do. Hold on, is this really the right choice? Yes, it is. Okay, now we gotta scooch everything over like this. Okay, I think it's on good. I'm gonna cut it slightly above the cut line, so hopefully there is no silver showing through when I'm cutting. Here we go. And it has been a tragic night. It's actually almost daytime. I went overnight for this bumper and I still screwed up. So, not the best day because I have work in 2 hours and I screwed this up pretty badly. So, this happened. I tried to do the same thing as I did on the other side, but it just didn't work the same way, and this happened. So I'm done for today. I'm gonna probably start fresh tomorrow with a fresh piece like going like this, and hopefully that'll look better. So catch you guys later. The next day, I couldn't quite shake off the frustration from last night, so I worked on the grille part first, and that went pretty well without any issues. Then I cut and unmasked the bumper trim, also went without issues. And now we're back to the main problem. And then this part really sucks. One thing I wasn't being too careful of was the adhesive sides kind of overlapped on each other. And when that happens, it's really hard to fix it. So this part is also ruined. I think I'll just cut it like here, even though it's gonna show. That's better than like starting this whole bumper over. So cut here, same with the other side, cut here, and then we'll see what we can do. The paint is coming off. And for the last detail, I wrapped the middle section here in gloss black. And now I'm officially finished with the front end. I wish the car was completely done with a reveal like this, but we are getting very close to the finish line, and I thought finishing up the front end would give me some motivation and a sense of accomplishment. And it sure did, because this is looking absolutely amazing in my opinion. The roof, rear quarter panels, the rear bumper, and a few other smaller pieces are left, and I think for sure in the next video I'll be done. So stay tuned to see the final results. Do let me know what you guys think of the front end. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.